Fulani herders and the farmers' clash is an age-long issue in Nigeria that keeps deteriorating, escalating, and getting worse because the Nigerian government has decided to play deaf ears and blind eyes to the looming national disaster. Their one-sided stance on this particular issue has made victims of these villages, both the farmers and the dwellers, to take laws into their hands because some have come to that conclusion that the government is not ready to help them. The government is not ready to do anything as regards to their safety, the protection of their lives, and also their properties. A perfect example is what happened in Uromi, Eastern Northeast local government area of Edo State. So before the tragedy that struck in Uromi in the month of March, we have been seeing several reports of people of that community and even neighboring community frequently protesting, calling on government, calling on their state government to please do something as regards to the safety of their lives and property. Now, they did not act, they did not release any statement, nothing was done. And every now and then, we see gruesome videos of the Fulanis massacring people, killing people, slaughtering them, raping their women, and even in some cases, inserting sticks into their genitals and doing some really disgusting and horrible things that you cannot even imagine. And this has even made people to run away from their ancestral homes, lands and homes that belong to them. They all had to evacuate because of their safety. Now, it's in the course of this that the vigilantes in Uromi saw a truck conveying Fulanis or northerners to Kano State. They intercepted them, and upon identifying an item that signaled to them that these people are kidnappers or the Fulanis who wreak havoc in their community, they swung into action. They took the laws into their own hands by bringing these people out, about 16 of them, and burning them to death. This is not something that I encourage because jungle justice is a no-no, no matter what is happening. And coupled with the fact that we are in a 21st century, there are so many ways to arrest insecurities. There are so many ways, to address disagreements rather than towing the path of jungle justice, because it has never been the best approach or the best option when it comes to solving issues that relate to security. Now, after these 16 northerners who were en route, Kano State were burned to death by these vigilantes in Uromi and also some villagers. The people of Kano State and other northerners started fuming. They started agitating. They were visibly angry, and even other well-meaning Nigerians, because we do not support jungle justice. We don't even like the killing of human beings. First, we don't create these lives, so we should not just encourage people taking lives that they cannot create. The northerners started fuming, started agitating, or why would our brothers be killed in such manner? And before you knew what was happening, the Igbos and the Christians got eloped in this. The next agenda, the next narrative was that it was the Igbos in Uromi community that actually orchestrated that act. How exactly was that the Igbo residents in Uromi that did that? We saw the faces of persons, some faces of people who did this, but how it got to Igbos and Christians being victims of this heinous act is something that I think the northerners would still come and explain to us how exactly they came to that conclusion. So before you know what was happening, some persons were issuing threats on social media saying that, oh, if nothing is done, if the perpetrators of the act are not held accountable for what they did, that the Igbos in the northern states are going to hear from them. They are going to attack churches, which is not even a new thing because they've been doing it. And also they are going to kill any Igbo that they see. I think there's, this misconception about who a southerner is, because I think for the northerners, for the ones who are not well enlightened, anytime they hear southerners, it's just the Igbo that come to mind. I don't know who taught them this, but they need to unlearn and know that all southerners are not Igbo, because inside the southerners we have the Yorubas, and then we have other states, other tribes that comes in as regards to the southerners. And in the heat of all those things, the Edo State governor had to travel all the way from Edo State to Kano State to go pacify the people of Kano State and plead with them for the loss of their brothers in a very gruesome manner. If you saw that video, you are going to know that indeed played, it was a gruesome manner. But you come to also ask yourself, these people have also been killing people gruesomely. We're not trying to encourage their action or what was done to those innocent northerners. But if these people have been doing this, their brothers and their sisters have been doing this, and their leaders never saw the need or never deemed it fit to come out to react or talk or even caution them about it, why is it that this time around that they have had a taste of their madness, they are everywhere condemning it and saying, oh, we are going to retaliate if nothing is done? The same federal government that has been quiet, the same federal government that has not even bothered to say anything since these communities, they've been protesting, calling on government to please come save us from the hands of these Fulani headers. The same government that has never said anything or even matched up their words with actions have come out now to issue an ultimatum that the perpetrators of this act should be found and made to face the law squarely. And this has got so many persons asking, is it that there are Nigerians that are more Nigerian than others? Is it that there are some people that their lives are more important than other people's lives? Because if we are to weigh the havoc that these Fulani headers have wreaked and what the communities who are trying to retaliate have also wreaked, you see that there's not ever going to be a balance. Now, in Enugu State, currently at Ihamufo, these headers are also on the move. So far, since the war, they started, ambushing people in Ihamufo, displacing people, killing them, and occupying their farm settlements. Not less than 150 persons have been killed, and not less than 28 farm settlements have been taken over by these Fulani headers. Is it even Benue State? The Benue State own, it's not even news because every now and then they keep attacking. And in Owo, sometime in 2022 in Owo, Christians were massacred. About 40 to 80 of Christians were massacred in Owo.
Ayi bundi hamufu nde tiri we maro ndi hamufu ne jeze boto ka haje zutari. Because of ndị Fulani wee chụpụ ndị mmadụ ebe anyị nwe ọbụrụ ọgbọnọ nwere nkwụ nwere ebe anyị na-akọ ugbo nwere ebe anyị nwere ụlọ akwụkwọ nwere ebe anyị nwere ụlọ ọgwụ n'ime agụba anyị ebe anyị bi lasere onwe anyị dị ka ndị nọ na be ha all of a sudden ndị Fulani wee bata wee bido igbu ndị be anyị kemgbe ka anyị na-agwa unu na ha na-egbu ọtụtụ mgbe ha egbuo mmadụ 20 ọtụtụ mgbe ma ha egbuo 30 ọtụtụ mgbe ha ebere mmadụ ara ọtụtụ mgbe ha ebere mmadụ onweghị ha Fulani na-emebeghị anyị na-eti mkpu kemgbe na-agwa gọọmenti of Enugu State, gọọmenti of Nigeria, gọọmenti of East Local Government biko si nyere anyị aka.
So this is a recurring incident from the Fulani headers, and the federal government has kept quiet. What exactly is the problem? What is it that they are hiding that they do not want Nigerians to know about? Now, if the northern leaders really want to come out and condemn this action, they should also go back to the drawing board and condemn the actions of these Fulani headers, because there is never a smoke without a fire. It's something that is going to make someone to act in a certain way. I understand that the Fulani headers, this is their business. Okay, good and fine. That is justifiable. This is your business. Now, these farmers, this is also their business, their source of livelihood, the only hope of them feeding, catering for their families and their loved ones. Now, you come with your cows and go and destroy their crops. And the way you even do it, if they ever try to complain, you attack them. How do you move from your territory to someone's territory and you even go and intimidate the person and even go to the extent of taking the person's life, raping their girls, raping their women, killing their sons, their daughters, and sacking them from their village, turning them to displaced persons? Meanwhile, they never offended you. The only thing they asked of you was not to please destroy their crops, because this is what they are going to feed on. This is what they are going to use to survive. So we should not even justify this act in any way, because you cannot use your business and spoil another man's business. Cattle ranching is something that in a sane climb, at least we are in the 21st century, is something that ought to have been adopted in this country. But our government is so quiet and very cold on it. There is a bill currently in the House of Assembly about banning open grazing. Even some state governments, they've gone ahead on their own accord to ban open grazing. But we still see these headers flouting these laws. They don't even care about what you are saying. All they care about is feeding their cows and being nomadic, moving from one bush to another. They just believe, okay, rearing of cows, moving from one place to another is just the only style. Open grazing is the style we are going to to adopt, whether is favorable to the people whom we are going to trespass their properties or not, they do not care. And you cannot even block them, because if you try to come into their way, they are going to take you. That's just it. They must always have their way. So what exactly is stopping Nigeria as a country to embrace cattle ranch? It's not that we don't have the land. We don't have what it requires to do this. We have everything that it requires to do this. So what is so special about these herders moving their cows from one place to another, and even moving in the bushes? Like, what are you even doing in those bushes? Yeah, sometimes they go and liaise with these communities, establish some sort of relationship with them, but you still do not know who exactly is moving in the bush. There is no means of identification that you would say, okay, if I see this person, I know that this person is a herder. No. Imagine going to your farm and you just randomly just see a stranger who is a herder walking past your crops, and then the person with his cows, they are destroying what you've suffered to actually cultivate. So it's high time that the government work towards embracing ranching. Let's do it, because that is what same people do. In other countries, you see people consume cow. Yes, they eat the meat, the beef, they eat it, but you do not hear about them littering everywhere, the stabbing, the security, the peace, the safety of people with their cow. But it's Nigeria. People just want to do things the way they want to do it, and it feels like a certain tribe feels more superior than other tribes. So it's about what they want and not even what those people want. Before, a Fulani herder would just move with a stick and a keg of water, but now they no longer move with a stick and a keg of water. What do they move around with? AK-47 rifle. Even the vigilantes do not have that sophisticated arm to protect themselves and also protect the community that they are safeguarding. Why exactly are these people moving with AK-47 rifle? What is it that they are fighting in the bushes that warrants them to move with AK-47 rifle? If you want to protect your cow, then what about the stick and the keg of water? And you know, this particular thing has contributed highly to insecurity, kidnapping, organ harvesting. In some regions, in some areas, we hear news of these Fulani herders coming out in broad daylight at night to come kidnap people, rob people, and when they are done, they make their way back to the bushes. So why did the government empower these people with AK-47 rifle? What exactly are they doing with it? People are crying insecurity, 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 but the government is not saying anything till when a Fulani herder is affected. Okay, why this whole Uromi thing is on? A farmer went and laced his crop in Benue State with a poison. Because of what? The herders would not allow his farm to be. Now the farmer was arrested and now he's been sentenced to go face his crime. But the Fulani herder who invaded this man's farm is not even held to be accountable or to face the punishment for invading someone's privacy. So what exactly is the problem? When is our government going to address this issue? The consequences of government one-sided stance and blind eye and deaf ears to this problem is that people are going to take laws into their hands. At least what happened in Uromi, we are not encouraging that, but what happened in Uromi should just give the government a tip of an iceberg of what is going to happen if it doesn't do anything as fast as possible to arrest this situation. People would continue to take laws into their hands because there is a level that people can take injustice. There is a level that people can take a certain kind of treatment. Like in Ihamufi now, yes, people are running. They are leaving their ancestral homes and lands. But there's a level it's going to get to, they would stop running and stop hoping and relying on the government to come save them. What are they going to do? They are going to take the laws into their hands. And by the time every other areas, every other regions where those people are wreaking havoc start taking laws into their hands, you already know what is going to become of our nation. You already know what is going to become of our state. So Fulanis should stop acting and stop feeling like they are more Nigerians than other Nigerians. And our government need to do something as soon as possible. As the government is working towards holding the 14 persons whom have been arrested in connection to that heinous act in Edo State, the government should also work towards holding accountable these Fulani herdsmen who go into people's farms and wreak havoc. No wonder we are having shortage of food supply in our country, because the farmers who are supposed supposed to go to farm and make sure that we have enough farm produce, we have enough food to eat in this country. They can no longer go to their farms. They are very scared. In some northern states, as a farmer, they pay heavily. You pay heavily to these herders. You pay heavily to these terrorists before you can go and farm. In some northern states, they have monthly payments. In fact, they have requirements. They have things that you need to do before you would be able to access your farm. This is not helping us as a nation. It's going to affect not only our economy, it's also going to affect the peace and the safety of properties and lives. So if we are to fight insecurity, this is even the first place that we need to start from, because this would also give room, not that it would, it has actually given room for other criminal elements to hide under the guise of, oh, we are Fulani herders, to carry out or perpetrate their ulterior motive. You see some people, they claim to be herders, but they are not herders. They are just evil people who want to carry out their evil act. And because they see that, okay, there is a loophole already, the government is not doing anything. Now let's capitalize on this, let's leverage on this and wreak havoc, go about kidnap people, kill people, organ harvesting, collect their organs, sell it, and do some other dirty business. The government needs to arise right now and do something. If not, it is going to get to a point where the people who are victims would stand up and start fighting back. And for the northerners who have come out to criticize or condemn the Uromi community for taking laws into their hands and also cutting the lifespan of their brothers short, their brothers who were traveling all the way from Rivers to Kano State. They were traveling through Uromi to Kano State for the Eid al-Fitr celebration. Yes, I love the fact that you people came out and condemned this. The Arewa group, all of them. But please, can you also condemn these actions of the Fulani herders? I've seen quite a number of some Fulanis and Hausas, condemning their act and other acts that led to what we saw in Uromi. Can you please also be sincere to yourself to call your brothers to order when they go about attacking people who have not in any way offended them, attacking people who are unarmed? Can we also call a spade in this country? Because it doesn't end at you telling someone, oh, you are wrong. What about the dirt in your own eye? Can you remove it as well? So until we come together, if we really want to have one Nigeria, yes, it's one Nigeria, but at this point, I don't think it's one Nigeria, because there is a particular tribe that easily have their way. Why they have other tribes that are just there suffering, even when they are at fault or not? The Christians are being targeted, the Igbos are being targeted. What exactly did the Igbos do in this particular Uromi case? What exactly have they done? Igbos are just there doing their normal business, and in a Hamufo, they are being denied of access to their homes, of access to their farms. So if we really want this one Nigeria to flourish, we want it to sell, we want it to excel, to even sail through, we need to put sentiment aside. We need to put tribe aside. We need to put religion aside and work towards it. And we should stop allowing our leaders to use religion as a tool to divide us, because this is a way they would keep getting and keep having their ways, doing things they're not supposed to do. We are supposed to come together, irrespective of our tribe, irrespective of our belief, work together and build this nation to what exactly it is we want it to be. Until we decide to work in one accord, then we are going to have a peaceful and united Nigeria. But if it's about each tribe and each religion just going about what they believe in, not minding how they hurt one another, we are not going to ever get it right in this country. As a matter of fact, anarchy is looming if nothing is actually done to curtail this. So as we strongly condemn the actions of those Uromi residents, let's also condemn the actions of these Fulani herders. It's long overdue. We've overstressed it. We've overemphasized on it. We've spoken so much on it, and it is now time for the government to take an action and do what is right. Thank you very much for joining us for yet another edition of The Kiwi Show. My name is Rochelle. Hope to see you some other time, and please do not forget to click the subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, and share. See you guys some other time.